The death toll from Colombia's devastating 7.4 magnitude earthquake has climbed sharply overnight, with confirmed fatalities now standing at 265 people, according to the latest tally from the Colombian Association of Capital Cities. Colombia is facing a major emergency after a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck the western part of the country on Monday. What began as a terrifying few minutes of shaking has now turned into a massive rescue operation, with emergency crews searching through collapsed buildings for people who may still be trapped beneath the debris. And the situation has become even more serious as the confirmed death toll has climbed rapidly. The latest reports put the number of people killed at more than 250, while many others remain injured or unaccounted for. Authorities are warning that the numbers could change as rescue teams reach areas that have been difficult to access. The earthquake caused widespread destruction across western Colombia, with some of the hardest hit areas reporting collapsed structures, damaged roads, and major disruptions to essential services. But amid the destruction, rescuers are still finding reasons to keep searching. One of the most remarkable moments came when a woman was discovered alive nearly 38 hours after the earthquake, trapped inside the remains of a collapsed building. Rescue workers spent hours carefully freeing her from the wreckage. For families waiting outside damaged buildings, every passing hour has become a race against time, and authorities say the search is far from over. Rescue crews, emergency workers, and local volunteers continue moving through unstable structures, looking for signs of life, while aftershocks and damaged infrastructure make the operation even more difficult. But this is only the beginning of the story, because behind the rising death toll are hundreds of families still waiting for answers. And in some of the hardest hit communities, the full scale of the destruction has yet to be determined. But the biggest concern right now is not only the number of people who have died, it is the people who are still missing. As rescue operations entered another critical phase, emergency crews continued searching through collapsed buildings across western Colombia.
Y llegar hasta acá fue impresionante, parecía el fin del mundo, los carros y la moto en contravía, todo el mundo buscando a sus seres queridos, sin señal, pero gracias a Dios hay muchos voluntarios, mucha gente. No nos ha faltado agua, ahora necesitamos linternas y gafas, porque no nos dejan meternos hasta allá por el polvo que nos entra a los ojos.
The latest reports say the death toll has reached 265, while nearly 500 people are still missing. Thousands more have been injured. In Cali, rescuers, soldiers, and local volunteers have been working around the clock at damaged buildings, carefully removing debris while listening for any possible signs of survivors. And every minute matters. The earthquake struck on Monday morning, with its epicenter near San José del Palmar in Colombia's Chocó region. The 7.4 magnitude quake was felt across a large part of the country and was followed by numerous aftershocks, making already dangerous structures even harder to search. But then came a moment that gave rescuers renewed hope. A woman was found alive after spending nearly 38 hours trapped inside the wreckage of a collapsed building. Rescue workers carefully worked through the debris and eventually brought her out alive. For the families still waiting outside damaged buildings, that rescue has become a powerful reminder that survivors may still be found. Meanwhile, Colombia's government is preparing for the enormous recovery ahead. President Abelardo de la Espriella has announced plans for an emergency fund aimed at rebuilding damaged hospitals, schools, homes, and other critical infrastructure. He has also declared an economic emergency because of the scale of the destruction. But even as reconstruction plans begin, rescue teams have not stopped searching, because somewhere beneath the rubble, families are still waiting for someone to come home, and authorities warn that the final human cost of this disaster may still not be known. But the destruction is now becoming clearer. As rescue operations continue across western Colombia, authorities are facing a crisis that extends far beyond individual collapsed buildings. The latest reports say the earthquake has killed 265 people, left nearly 500 people missing, and injured more than 3,700 others. More than 9,500 homes have also been destroyed or badly damaged. Cali and Pereira remain among the areas receiving intense attention from rescue teams. In Cali, crews have been working around damaged structures disasters while authorities try to account for people who have not yet been located, and the danger has not completely disappeared. Aftershocks have forced rescuers to remain extremely cautious around unstable buildings, sometimes interrupting searches while structures are checked for safety. But there is another major problem developing across the region: infrastructure. Roads, homes, hospitals, and essential services have all suffered damage, making it harder for emergency teams to reach some communities and deliver assistance. International help has now begun arriving as Colombia moves from the immediate rescue phase toward a much larger recovery effort. Reuters reports that teams from countries including Mexico and Peru have joined the response. Meanwhile, President Abelardo de la Espriella has pledged an emergency reconstruction fund to help rebuild homes, hospitals, schools, and critical infrastructure. But rebuilding Colombia's hardest-hit communities will not happen overnight. For now, rescue teams remain focused on one priority: finding anyone who could still be alive. And one dramatic rescue has already shown why crews refuse to give up. A 32-year-old woman named Daniela was found alive nearly 38 hours after the earthquake, trapped beneath the remains of a collapsed building in Pereira. Rescuers spent around 10 hours working to free her. Her survival has given families across the disaster zone another reason to hope. But with hundreds still missing, the most critical search operations are not over yet. But as the rescue window begins to narrow, Colombia is already facing the next enormous challenge: recovery. The death toll from Monday's 7.4 magnitude earthquake has reached 265, according to the latest reports, while hundreds of people remain missing. Rescue teams are continuing their search as authorities try to reach communities where damage assessments are still incomplete. For emergency crews, the priority remains clear: search every damaged structure where there could still be survivors. But the clock is working against them. The first several days after a major earthquake are considered especially critical for finding people trapped beneath collapsed structures. At the same time, unstable buildings and aftershocks can make rescue operations extremely dangerous. And now, help is beginning to arrive from outside Colombia. Regional partners have sent assistance as the government coordinates the emergency response, while specialized teams and humanitarian organizations prepare to support affected communities. President Abelardo de la Espriella has also announced plans for an emergency reconstruction fund. The goal is to rebuild critical infrastructure, including damaged hospitals and schools, while helping families whose homes were destroyed in the disaster. But rebuilding will be a massive task. Thousands of families are facing damaged or destroyed homes, disrupted services, and an uncertain future. And for communities closest to the epicenter, the biggest challenge may be reaching them in the first place. Difficult terrain, damaged infrastructure, and limited access to remote areas can slow down both rescue operations and the delivery of humanitarian assistance. Still, rescue crews continue working, volunteers continue helping, and families continue waiting for news. For Colombia, this earthquake is no longer simply a disaster measured by a number on a screen. It is thousands of individual stories, people searching for relatives, communities trying to recover, and rescuers refusing to stop while there is still hope. The rescue operation may eventually end, but Colombia's recovery is only beginning, and the coming days will reveal just how much this earthquake has changed the country.
Y pues nos encontramos desde los primeros momentos haciendo remoción de escombros grandes que no se puede retirar con la mano para tratar de buscar personas con vida, pero pues lastimosamente ya hasta este punto ya bomberos confirmó de que no hay señales de vida. Pues sí hay víctimas, pero ya víctimas sin vida. Entonces en este momento ya nos vamos a retirar nosotros para que entre la maquinaria amarilla, acabar de retirar escombros grandes y lo que se pueda retirar con la máquina. Pero pues ya lastimos hasta este punto, ya en este punto exacto ya no hay señales de vida como tal. Sí, señor.
¿Cuántas personas están aquí?
Tienen un estimado porque como abajo era panadería, enseguida era una droguería y arriba había unas residencias, hotel. Tiene un estimado que más o menos de 10 a 15 personas. No, en el primer día no estuve, no se sacaron unas, pero no tengo el dato exacto de cuántas sacaron. No sé en estos momentos cuántas personas pueden haber atrapadas todavía.
No hay
Un balance que yo le diga un punto, no es que hay una cifra exacta, no. La verdad no sabría decirle.
Claro.
Sí, señor.
Dificilísimo, ¿no?
Sí, es bastante difícil. Nosotros, gracias a Dios, pues la familia y todos están bien, pero la incertidumbre de las personas que están acá y nosotros como pereiranos nos duele ver la ciudad así, nos duele saber que hay vidas humanas ahí en estos momentos, pues ya no pueden gozar con la dicha que tenemos de ver este hermoso día y saber cómo quedó la ciudad y que hay vidas ahí es difícil, es bastante difícil.
Claro. Tengo entendido que este edificio hubo una mujer que sacaron, ¿verdad?
Sí, señor, pero fue del otro punto, de allá del otro lado. Daniela se llamaba ella. Pues es bastante bonito lo que se hizo, pero pues a la vez también pensando en las otras personas. Ayer a las 9 de la mañana también sacaron a un barbero, pues lastimosamente ya sin signos de vida, pero en este punto ya descartaron totalmente signos de vida. Ya toca esperar para remover escombros y retirar los cuerpos.